What does it truly signify to traverse a trajectory through life that remains invisible to the majority, a path not marked by societal signposts or validated by collective applause? 1. Walk in the unseen path of life, a road that is neither guided by society's signposts nor celebrated by collective approval? This question is not one that resonates with the majority. It is a quiet summons recognized only by a rare kind of individual. These people are not defined by the noise they make in crowds, but by the profound stillness they cultivate in solitude. Importantly, their solitude is not a punishment forced upon them, but a conscious and deliberate choice, an embrace of its transformative energy. For the Sigma male, this is not an abstract philosophy, but a lived reality. His life is not an attempt to blend into the faceless masses, but an intentional act of constructing an inner fortress. In this fortress, his mind sharpens into a finely honed instrument, his willpower becomes a shield, and his patience grows into a long-term strategy, while the outside world is consumed by shallow distractions and meaningless noise. This message is not universal. It is not meant for everyone. It is a discourse deliberately exclusive, directed at the lone thinker who finds deeper vitality in their own company than in the chaos of social gatherings. It is for the individual who can sit in silence for hours and emerge not with loneliness but with clarity, peace, and completeness. It is the strategic soul who views life less as a playground for entertainment and more as a battlefield of ideas, power, and enduring purpose. For these individuals, solitude is not a shortcoming to be fixed, but a training ground, a private dojo, a personal laboratory. While the world burns its energy in desperate hunts for approval and petty contests of ego, the Sigma male sharpens his mind in silence, preparing with precision. He understands a universal truth. Real strength is rarely loud. Often, it is quiet, observant, patient, and devastatingly effective when unleashed at the right moment. 2. The strategic art of letting go. One of the Sigma male's most defining traits is his mastery of selective engagement. He recognizes that winning every battle is not only unnecessary, but counterproductive. To him, ultimate victory is not about short-term triumphs, but about advancing toward long-term goals with discipline and clarity. He willingly allows certain small losses, not out of weakness, but as an act of higher strategy. Most people, fueled by fragile egos, demand victory in every argument and every minor confrontation. They spend energy proving points to people who will not matter in the larger art of their lives. This short-sightedness weakens them, scattering their focus on trivial matters. The Sigma male refuses to fall into this trap. His perspective stretches beyond the immediate. He plays the long game. Consider the analogy of chess. A novice may panic at the sacrifice of a pawn or a knight, believing it to be a mistake. But the grandmaster, thinking 10 moves ahead, knows that these small losses pave the way for a decisive checkmate. To the outsider, it may appear reckless. To the strategist, it is brilliance in motion. This principle unfolds in multiple dimensions of life. In work, the Sigma may allow a colleague to believe they have outperformed him, conceding a trivial win. Yet, while the other is basking in ego, he continues shaping a deeper strategy free from distraction. In personal relationships, he may step away from heated arguments despite having the knowledge to win. To him, maintaining inner peace and preserving long-term bonds is worth far more than hollow victory of words. In finances, he declines flashy investments and avoids trends designed for immediate validation. Instead, he quietly places his resources into long-term growth, choosing stability and eventual freedom over fleeting appearances. By understanding what truly matters, the Sigma learns a rare art of surrendering the unimportant to safeguard the monumental. His mastery is in knowing what battles deserve his energy and which ones are mere noise. 3. The labyrinth of the Sigma mind. The inner workings of the Sigma male's mind resemble a vast and intricate labyrinth. To outsiders, his thoughts and actions may appear enigmatic, even contradictory. But for him, every turn, every pause, and every silence has intention behind it. What others see as randomness is, in fact, meticulous design. This complexity frustrates those who try to understand him. Just when they think they are close to grasping his true motives, they find themselves at a dead end. This is no accident. It is his deliberate defense mechanism, by keeping his inner world shrouded. He protects his sovereignty, like a labyrinth architect. The Sigma male builds his mental corridors with precision. His choices, silences, and calculated omissions are shields, preventing others from gaining leverage over him. To him, revealing too much of himself is akin to handing out the blueprint of his fortress. This guardedness surfaces in many aspects of life. In professional circles, he may appear ordinary, offering only glimpses of his true potential. Meanwhile, he observes, learns, and quietly maneuvers himself into positions of advantage while others underestimate him. In social settings, he listens more than he speaks. Every detail offered by others is absorbed and stored, allowing him to map personalities while giving away little about himself. In romantic bonds, his depth is revealed gradually. Those seeking instant gratification are quickly deterred, while the patient and genuine discover layered chambers of his mind. Yet, even then, the innermost core remains exclusively his own. The Sigma male does not conceal his nature out of fear, but out of strength. His labyrinth is not built to imprison him, but to shield his essence. For those who persist, navigating his complexity becomes a test of authenticity, and only the worthy ever glimpse deeper. For the quiet anatomy of true power, perhaps the most profound truth the Sigma male embodies is this: power does not need a roar to be real. True strength does not come from constant displays or attention-seeking gestures. Instead, it exists in silence, patience, and deliberate action. In a world obsessed with boasting and spectacle, the Sigma stand apart. Those who loudly parade their wealth, influence, or intelligence often do so out of insecurity, desperate to be noticed. The Sigma, free from this hunger for validation, relies on precision instead of performance. His influence is subtle yet undeniable. Picture a predator in the wild. It does not waste energy on every movement in the grass. It waits, still and observant, until the perfect moment presents itself. When it acts, the strike is swift and absolute. This mirrors the Sigma's way of wielding power, measured, patient, and devastating when unleashed. Examples of this subtle power appear everywhere. In conflict, instead of reacting with anger, he wields silence. His calm unnerves opponents, exposing their instability while he remains unshaken. In success, while others flaunt half-finished projects, he reveals results only after they are complete, undeniable, and beyond question. His achievements speak louder than any announcement could. In decision-making, where others rush, he waits. He allows emotion and fear to drive others into mistakes while he gathers insight and positions himself for decisive advantage. This philosophy proves a simple truth. The most dangerous force is not the loudest, but the quietest, the one that observes, prepares, and strikes only when conditions guarantee success. The Sigma male embodies this timeless principle of restrained yet overwhelming power. 5. The economics of connection, relationships as earned privileges. For the Sigma male, human connection is never a desperate scramble to avoid the fear of loneliness. It is not an emotional necessity that he clings to in order to feel complete. Instead, relationships are deliberate choices, strategic investments as time and energy. He views every interaction through the lens of value, integrity, and consistency. To him, access to his inner world is not something given freely to all. It is a carefully guarded privilege that must be earned and continually proven over time. This clarity does not mean he is cold or unfeeling. It is, in fact, the opposite. It means he values relationships so deeply that he refuses to dilute their meaning by allowing just anyone into a circle. While most people rush into connections out of fear of being alone, the Sigma male takes the opposite approach. He embraces his solitude so completely that he only welcomes people who genuinely enrich his life. He will never keep company as a filler for silence or as a distraction from insecurity. His view of connection can be compared to the cultivation of a garden. Not every seed that sprouts deserves nourishment, and not every plant is beneficial. Some are weeds disguised as flowers, draining resources from the truly valuable growth. The Sigma male acts as a vigilant gardener, tending carefully to his relationships. He observes how people behave when they stand to gain nothing from him. He pays attention to whether they bring authenticity, support, and loyalty, or whether they seek only to take, manipulate, or exploit. This manifests in daily life in subtle but powerful ways. The fair weather friend. He quickly notices those who only reach out when they need a favor or a sympathetic ear. Instead of pouring energy into these transactional connections, he quietly reclassifies them, allowing them no deeper access to his private world. The competitive colleague. He identifies those who celebrate his success only when it benefits them but vanish or grow envious. When he advances on his own merit, he doesn't confront or quarrel. Instead, he strategically lowers their access and guards his professional space. Romantic partnerships and intimacy. He is deliberate and patient. Words do not convince him. Consistency of action does. If a partner reveals patterns of disrespect, dishonesty, or unreliability, he detaches without hesitation. His self-worth is not tethered to another's presence. By treating relationships as privileges rather than entitlements, the Sigma male preserves his most valuable resources, his energy, peace, and time. The connections he does maintain are unusually strong, precisely because they are rooted not in convenience or fear, but in loyalty, mutual respect, and proven worth. For him, relationships are never about filling a void. They are about building lasting structures of trust with those who can stand beside him without weakening him. 6. The realism of betrayal. Confirmation, not catastrophe. When betrayal comes, whether in the form of a disloyal friend, a backstabbing colleague, or an unfaithful partner, the Sigma male does not crumble. His worldview has already prepared him for this possibility. Where others interpret betrayal as a devastating rupture of trust, he views it as confirmation of a truth he already understood. Loyalty is rare, and people often act according to self-interest when tested by pressure or temptation. For most, betrayal cuts deeply. They spiral into self-doubt, asking endless questions. What did I do wrong? Why wasn't I enough? How could I not see it? The Sigma male refuses to waste his strength in this fruitless cycle. He does not interpret betrayal as a reflection of his inadequacy, but as a revelation of the betrayer's true character. To him, the mask has simply fallen away, exposing what was always there. He responds not with dramatic outbursts or retaliation, but with adjustment. In work, if a trusted colleague undermines him for personal gain, he does not rage. Instead, he recalibrates. He recognizes a betrayal as the unveiling of their nature and becomes more cautious, removing them from a strategic confidence. In social circles, if a supposed friend is found speaking ill of him out of jealousy, he does not fight or argue. He steps back, disengages, and redirects his energy toward more authentic bonds. In romance, if a partner betrays his trust, the pain is acknowledged, but he does not let it define him. He sees their choice as evidence of their lack of integrity, not as proof of his lack of worth. The Sigma male does not feel compelled to exact revenge. He trusts that betrayal carries its own consequences, that those who operate dishonorably will eventually collapse under the weight of their own choices. His response is simple. He withdraws his trust, extracts a lesson, and carries on, wiser and sharper than before. This realism immunizes him against bitterness. Betrayal cannot break him because he never expected perfection. He accepts that human beings are flawed, and by doing so, he maintains his resilience. For him, betrayal is not the end of trust. It is a reminder that trust is currency, valuable and rare, to be given sparingly and earned continually. 7. The internal arena, competing only with the ghosts of yesterday. One of the Sigma male's most liberating traits is his freedom from external competition. He does not measure his worth against applause, attention, or the social scoreboard. His only competitor is himself, the man he was yesterday. His focus is on constant, internal improvement, not on outperforming others. This mindset separates him from the herd. Most people are trapped in a cycle of comparison, obsessing over salaries, possessions, promotions, or social media likes. Their self-worth rises and falls with external validation. The Sigma male has no interest in this endless race. His measure of success is deeply personal. Am I sharper, wiser, stronger, or more capable today than I was before? The metaphor of a gym illustrates this well. Many train loudly, flexing and seeking admiration. But in a quiet corner, the Sigma trains in silence, tracking his progress with discipline, ignoring the crowd. He does not crave applause. His satisfaction lies in surpassing his own records, knowing that real strength endures beyond the gym's walls. This principle extends to every domain of life. In work, While others politic for attention and fight over credit, he focuses on mastery of his craft. Recognition, when it comes, is not something he demanded. It is a natural result of undeniable excellence in growth. He doesn't broadcast every book he reads or every skill he acquires. His learning is its own reward, fueling his inner arsenal. In social life, he doesn't compete for attention at gatherings. His presence speaks through substance, not volume. By competing only with himself, he frees his energy from meaningless comparisons. Every step forward is a personal victory, and every challenge becomes an internal milestone. This relentless inward drive fuels his growth, keeping him ahead of those distracted by the shallow race for recognition. 8. Strategic alliances. The calculus of collaboration. The Sigma male's approach to collaboration is grounded in pragmatic calculation, not emotional craving. He does not seek allies to avoid loneliness or to feel included. Instead, he forms partnerships only when they serve a defined purpose within his broader strategy. Relationships, for him, are functional components in the architecture of his long-term goals. Most people collect allies for appearances, want to seem popular, connected, or protected by numbers. The Sigma male avoids this trap. To him, an ally who is undisciplined, indiscreet, or incompetent is more dangerous than an open enemy. Therefore, he applies strict discernment. Does this person's skill, knowledge, or influence contribute directly to his mission? If not, he remains independent. Imagine a craftsman in his workshop. Every tool has its purpose, and he selects each with precision. He would not use a hammer where a chisel is needed. Similarly, the Sigma male uses alliances only when they're the right tool for the task. In business, he may collaborate with a skilled coder to build software, not for friendship, but for results. Once the project is done, he moves forward without unnecessary attachments. In social circles, his circle remains intentionally small. Those within it must share his values of discipline, respect, and loyalty. In learning, he may seek mentorship not out of emotional need, but as a deliberate exchange, respect in return for wisdom. This selective approach ensures that his independence remains intact. He does not bind his identity to others, nor does he compromise his autonomy for the sake of companionship. For the Sigma male, alliances are temporary bridges, not permanent crutches. They are used to advance his mission, and when their purpose is fulfilled, he continues his path alone without regret. 9. Sovereign motion. Independence as conscious design. The independence of the Sigma male is often misunderstood. Many interpret his self-directed nature as rebellion, as if he were defined by opposition to authority or constant need to reject social norms. But this is a shallow misreading. His independence is not a reaction. It is an initiation. It is not about defiance, but about design. He chooses autonomy deliberately as a conscious expression of sovereignty, refusing to allow society, institutions, or peer pressure to dictate his rhythm, direction, or speed in life. True independence, as the Sigma male embodies it, is not contrarian for its own sake. Saying no to everything does not make a man strong. It makes him predictable, even weak, because his identity is still defined in relation to others. The Sigma male understands this. His independence is a quiet affirmation of his own blueprint. It is a refusal to surrender his helm to the world's ready-made templates. A powerful metaphor for this lies in the long-distance race. Most runners, when they see others surge ahead, panic. Fear of falling behind consumes them, so they abandon their strategy, sprinting recklessly, burning out long before the finish line. The Sigma male, by contrast, is immune to the herd's momentum. He knows his own stamina. He trusts his pace, and he is focused only on his personal finish line. His race is not against the crowd. It is against his own best time. This principle extends into every aspect of his life. Career trajectory. He does not rush up the corporate ladder for appearances. He may linger in a role to extract every ounce of mastery, or even take a lateral shift others view as a step down, knowing it serves his long-term vision. Relationships. He does not marry, settle down, or have children on society's timeline. His milestones unfold at his own pace, governed by authenticity and readiness, not social clocks. Finances and lifestyle. Immune to status games, He avoids the trap of lifestyle inflation. He spends on what fuels freedom, growth, or genuine joy, not on impressing neighbors or strangers. His independence is not a protest against the world, but a declaration of self-sovereignty. By running his own race, he often ends up far ahead, not because he was the fastest, but because he never let the world dictate his stride. 10. The strategic value of obscurity. Thriving in the shadows, in a world addicted to visibility, the Sigma male recognizes a paradoxical truth. Obscurity is power. The spotlight, while glamorous, is also a cage. High visibility invites constant judgment, endless scrutiny, and a subtle surrender of freedom. When too many eyes are watching, experimentation becomes risky, mistakes become public, and autonomy is quietly eroded. Most people equate recognition with success. They chase followers, likes, and headlines, mistaking fame for strength. But the Sigma male sees a hidden cost. Attention is expensive. It demands performance. It requires image maintenance, and it gives a crowd power to approve or condemn. For someone who values freedom above applause, this is an unacceptable trade. Thus, he thrives in the shadows. He chooses the quiet corridors of a crowded stage, because he knows real building, deep learning, and authentic growth happen away from noise. By the time the world sees his work, it is complete, undeniable, and beyond the reach of premature criticism. The natural world provides a perfect analogy. The loudest animals make themselves known, but the most formidable predators operate unseen, using silence, stealth, and patience. The Sigma male follows this law of the wild. He does not announce his plans, and he does not need to. His results arrive fully formed, rendering explanations unnecessary. This principle appears across his life. Entrepreneurship. While others chase venture capital with grand launches, he bootstraps quietly, refining products and building companies that are profitable before they are public. Skill acquisition. He doesn't broadcast every course or book. He studies in silence, then one day unveils mastery, leaving others startled by his progress. Wealth. His fortune grows quietly. He does not broadcast it with cars, watches, or designer suits. His wealth is private strength, not public theater. He thrives in obscurity, not out of fear of the light, but out of reverence for freedom. In the shadows, he is untouchable, free to experiment, refine, and recalibrate without interference. When he chooses to step forward, it is not as a performer seeking validation, but as a master unveiling what is already undeniable. 11. The strength of being misunderstood, the unmovable core. The Sigma male has long accepted a truth that unsettles most. He will never be fully understood. His depth is unconventional path, and his refusal to bend to social currents ensure that much of who he is will remain opaque to majority. But rather than struggle for recognition or exhaust himself explaining his choices, he embraces this reality. Being misunderstood is not his burden, it is his shield. Most people anchor their identity in the shifting seas of public opinion. They crave applause, validation, and alignment with the crowd. The danger, of course, is that the crowd changes its mind. Today's hero is tomorrow's villain, and those who seek approval are tossed about like ships without anchors. The Sigma male avoids this instability. His compass points inward. He builds his foundation not on the sand of others' perceptions, but on the bedrock of his own conviction. This strength manifests across all domains. Professional trends. While companies chase buzzwords and fashionable methodologies, he focuses on timeless principles, quality, efficiency, foresight. He does not rebrand with every passing trend, and thus his value remains constant. Cultural shifts. As societal values rise and fall like tides, he does not betray his core ethics. Honesty, discipline, and respect anchor him, whether they are in vogue or not. Personal identity. He is not defined by titles, possessions, or appearances. These are external, fragile, and fleeting. He defines himself by resilience, integrity, and mastery. The internal qualities no one can strip away. Like a great oak rooted deeply in the earth, he withstands a storm. The winds of public opinion may howl and bend others into submission, but he remains unmoved. He accepts that misunderstanding is the price of authenticity. To be clear in his own path means to be opaque to the crowd. And for him, this is not a loss. It is liberation. 12. The discipline of detached calculation. Surgery, not sentiment. Perhaps the Sigma male's sharpest weapon is his ability to separate feeling from decision. He does not dismiss emotions. They are vital signals, colors that enrich life, but he refuses to be ruled by them. He knows anger clouds judgment, excitement blinds foresight, and fear paralyzes action. To make clear decisions, he must step back, observe his emotions, and then let reason take the wheel. Most people live reactively. An insult sparks an immediate retort. A glittering opportunity drives impulsive investment. Fear of loneliness keeps them tethered to toxic bonds. Their lives swing between emotional highs and crashes. The Sigma male interrupts this cycle with a simple discipline: the pause. In the space between stimulus and response, he weighs, he calculates, and he chooses with precision. This surgical detachment is evident everywhere. Finances. He does not buy cars or luxury for ego. He evaluates depreciation, opportunity cost, and long-term impact before committing. His money serves strategy, not status. Career. When offered promotions or titles, he does not leap for vanity. He studies culture, industry stability, and alignment with his long-term vision before moving. What looks like hesitation to others is simply calculation. Conflict. When provoked, he does not react with fire. He asks, what is their intent? What outcome do I want? Does this battle serve me? Often, the sharpest move is silence. This discipline gives him an edge most never achieve. By refusing to let emotions dictate strategy, he moves with clarity, precision, and foresight. His decisions may seem cold from the outside, but they are not devoid of humanity. They are structured to serve the higher purpose of freedom, mastery, and long-term gain. Do these ideas resonate with you? If you found yourself nodding along or reflecting deeply on the traits and experiences we explored in this video, I'd love to hear your thoughts. The Sigma male mindset isn't often talked about openly, and your perspective, whether you identify with it personally or have encountered it in others, adds valuable depth to the conversation. Drop a comment below and let me know, which part hit home the most for you? Have you seen these traits in yourself or someone you know? Your insights help build a community where authenticity and growth are prioritized over popularity and performance. If you're drawn to this kind of introspective, no-nonsense content around Sigma males, psychological strength, emotional intelligence, and high-value living, there's more waiting for you. Explore the other videos on this channel for deeper dives, actionable insights, and raw truths that cut through the noise. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay sharp, stay grounded, and stay unapologetically real. Until next time.